What is happening, budget builders, and welcome back to the channel. We're here with a 1961 Ford Falcon station wagon that was driven and parked here in the woods in 1985. This thing is awesome, really killer trim, roof rack, factory AC. It's a little 6-cylinder. In today's video, we're gonna get this thing dragged back out of here, rescue it, and then we're going to attempt to get it running again, and then we'll get it back on the road.
Just watch for scorpions.
I know.
That's got an extender on it, you might want to take off.
It's blowing up there.
Okay, so that one's no good. Yep, that one ain't gonna do that one. Ah, look at that.
It's coming back out, I bet.
Is it?
Right.
1 out of 4 took air.
And it's going back down.
"38 years in the Georgia woods has not been super pretty on this car. But we are sure gonna try to get that little 170 running. First things first, let's get this engine bay cleaned up a little bit, blown out. Make sure we don't have any scorpions. Now if I scream like a little girl, probably because I done got bit. Look at the amount of rust on this fan pulley. I don't know if I've ever seen that much. The belt is one with the pulley now. This is gonna be a runner, I tell you. I love these huge Autolite horns it looks like somebody added. It almost looks factory. This factory bolts, but there's a horn down here too. And that's the factory one. Did it have 3? This thing probably sounds like the 911, those big old crazy horns. Let's, our oil is non-existent.
It evaporated.
I don't see signs of crazy amounts of moisture, so that's a good thing. But we'll really know once we pull our spark plugs. And those have been in there for a hot, hot minute. Let's go ahead and soak these things down before we even try to start pulling them. And then we can get an idea, condition-wise, on our combustion chambers. Think these are gonna budge or what?
Oh yeah, they'll all come out. See ya.
This one, it's a pretty greasy old motor, but it's pretty crusty. Oh, not bad. Where's my spark plug? My spark plug. My ratchet! Where's the ratchet at? Alright. Cylinder number 1. How scary are you? Oh, beautiful. Look at that. Look at that. Wow, that's an old spark plug. Look at that old Autolite. Holy moly. Cylinder number 2. What the? Gimme! I shouldn't drink all that coffee. I'm a little crazy. Do what you got for us. Oh my goodness. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. We're opening all the ones that have the valves closed. Let's see what happens when we get to a valve opener. Number 3. Oh my goodness. Wow. We're not done yet. 4 down, 2 to go, but looking at this car and where it was for as long as it was and how bad it is, I never would have thought these cylinders, these combustion chambers, at least spark plugs, would look this decent. 5. Holy moly, you've got to be kidding me. Last one. Number 6. Oh, my goodness sakes. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Now, wow, that blows my mind. It's what's crazy is, like, we were looking at these belts, they're gonna hold this motor frozen and not budge, but the inside looks that good. We are gonna go ahead and soak it down anyway, because most likely we've got at least some condensation or moisture down in there. We don't want to start trying to rock this thing over and potentially break a ring or something. I'm gonna let that soak a bit, and I do think we probably need to just go ahead and cut these belts, because there is no point in even attempting, because those are not going to budge. I wonder if this AC compressor is still, oh my goodness. The AC compressor is still free. Doesn't have any compression. It's pushing out of the, somebody cut that line. That's awesome. That would have been just fine.
Yeah, that's worse.
Yeah, no, this is the pretty one. And it ain't pretty. Get a 13/16 wrench down here on the crank. We'll see if this thing turns over. Ready? Oh, oh, I just took the nut loose. The bolt loose. I thought the motor spun. Oh, I'm going counterclockwise anyways. All right. All right, let's go the right way. And dang, I got excited there. Okay, I got excited too quickly. Oh boy, okay.
Well. Okay.
Oh, okay. That one seems to be a little stuck. Well, we went from there's no way this motor's free to wow, look at those spark plugs. Gave our hopes up a little bit, and it's still stuck. Let's at least take a look and see if we can see why it's stuck. Wow. It's not that cylinder. Wow. Probably not that one. Maybe a, I doubt it. I am blown away. That one's up top, kind of oily, gunky looking, but no rust. Look at, I can see cross hatching still. Look at that. Look at that. Look how good that looks. You think our starter's stuck?
It's always possible.
Or even the transmission? What's the transmission fluid look like in this thing? Oh,
What in the world is that?
Whew. Some old, oh, look at that. Just some old burnt transmission fluid. Not super milky or anything though. Looked a little weird brown, but why is it so over full?
Torque converter drained.
Yeah. Why don't we pull that starter? Maybe that starter's frozen in there. Maybe the motor's just stuck. We know we've had issues in the past with Ford starters. Now this is a different design. Maybe it was stuck engaged and froze up the way that it is. I think it's worth a try to at least pull this thing and then see if we can get it to move over at all. Really nice.
See that freeze plug behind the starter there, leaking out coolant. That's good, but bad.
That's a tight bolt.
Oh me, oh my. I guess next up, let's pull this inspection cover, see if we see anything in there, and then also maybe try to pry on the flywheel just a bit.
Okay, and the little 64, you know.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, that's a leaky transmission. Good grief. Can I have that big screwdriver,
Leaky
please?
transmission, but it's still got plenty of fluid in it.
Oh yeah, it's got too much fluid in it. Oh, yes!
No way. Really?
Yes! Oh my
It
goodness!
is.
What was stuck?
I don't know.
Something's got to be stuck up, or maybe just a different leverage point. Oh my goodness, you've got to be kidding me.
Well, you're talking about not trying to tighten the bolt.
Oh, yes! There it goes.
It's got a lot of compression with no plugs in it.
Oh my goodness. Maybe this belt was jammed up in here somewhere or something. Looking to see if anything falls out. Oh, there's something in the transmission. There's all kinds of stuff falling out of there. Oh, wow. Look at all that rust.
Where?
On the flywheel. It must have had a nest up in it. Oh, wow. We got a free motor. I just turkeyed. Oh, hold on. I just turkeyed him. You didn't even hear. I didn't see it on camera. Oh my goodness.
That's good.
Yes. Now, while the starter's out of the car, Dad's kind of taken off with it there. We'll go ahead and clean it up and verify that it is working well, put it back together. But before we put it back in, I hate to do it, even because we don't know that this thing's gonna run yet. We might as well, while we have access to it, let's go ahead and clean up that block, get that old freeze plug out, and get a new one popped in. You see here that nice rebuild sticker, so that was probably done sometime in the past 50 years. So we'll give the starter at least a little cleanup. It's not hugely pitted. The inside looks surprisingly okay-ish. We'll clean it up a little bit and see if it at least works, and if it does, we can put it back in the car. There we go. Do one more time, please. With some room here to kind of access it, I guess we'll go ahead and get this freeze plug replaced. Oh.
Oh, it just went through?
Yeah.
Shoot. That's good.
Here's our new 2-inch plug. Don't forget to put a little bit of silicone on there. With the block cleaned up, starter mounting surface wire brushed, and that freeze plug in, we can go ahead and reinstall this working starter. Although tempted to reinstall that cable there, I think we should probably put a new one on. So we went ahead and made up a new one. Go from there, 2-hour starter solenoid. Now we're ready to go ahead and start turning this thing over, but before we do that, let's go ahead and drain the oil out of this thing and get that ancient oil filter replaced. A few reasons I always do that. You know, a motor like this has sat for this long. Most of your major contaminants and stuff are gonna have leaked down and are down in the bottom of the pan. And as soon as you crank this thing, you just stir all that up. And also, that old oil filter, there's a good I've never seen it, but I've heard of it. There's a good possibility the elements in that are so old and deteriorated, you just suck that flat or suck that into the engine, and you might tear up an oil pump, or you push it up into the top end, or whatever. There's so many different reasons, but I like to just go ahead and change oil. It's cheap insurance. If we can get it running, once it's running, we can run it a bit and then drain that oil out, put some fresh in it again at that point. But I'd rather spend a little bit of extra time and a little bit of extra money putting fresh oil in there and just knowing that we are safe and good to go. That's why you check and change your oil.
Not coming out.
There's some Marvel Mist oil in the bottom of it. I told you it didn't have nothing on the dipstick. This is good signs. I wonder if this pan, you see how nasty this pan is and dented?
I don't know if it's got a hole in it.
That's good. Let me,
Really? It literally don't have anything in it?
no. So we're gonna go ahead and just pour a little bit of diesel down in the motor. That'll kind of help. It'll show us if we have any major leaks. That's the reason this thing didn't have any oil in it. Maybe it was drained of oil and then drove down in the woods.
I hear it going down in the pan.
If you don't mind, and then I'll pull the plug and see what comes out.
Slosh what?
The car!
It's up on the jack stand.
Oh yeah. Alright, well, definitely making me wonder, why didn't we have any oil in here? There's our oil. Huh. Don't ask me. This thing's probably blown up.
What the heck? I don't get that.
Oh.
Yeah, it's on the shock tower.
I guess ain't nothing probably gonna come out of here, but...
Dirt?
Yeah, dirt.
Wow, a lot of dirt.
That's a rough old filter, isn't it? Sheesh. Hey, that's the first time I've seen oil on that dipstick. You can see we're just a little over full there with about 4.5 quarts. Obviously still gonna completely fill up the filter there. Hopefully. Let's go and try to turn this thing over. This is really getting, I can't believe I'm touching these. Desperate for a rag. That's a pair of whitey tighties. They're not very white anymore. That cable's probably okay. Now when they relocated the battery to put AC in this car, check that ground cable out. On the darn strut tower, there's no way that does anything. Believe it or not, yeah, this car has a key in it. I highly doubt anything's gonna do anything yet, but nothing on the dash. Do the lights come on? Oh yeah. The dash light comes on. No headlights?
No. Okay, we don't need that.
No, I know this isn't gonna do anything. I'm on the truck. Whoa! The blower motor's on.
It's got AC.
The AC thing works. Oh yeah, it's barely got a connection. Maybe this ignition switch is bad. Hopefully this part right here doesn't trigger any viewers. All right. Signal. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. I don't hear any clankety clanking yet. That's a good sign. I do want to take and let's try to clean this that crank pulley up a little bit. Yeah, we don't want this doing all this up in here. Take that whole front main out first thing. And there you have it. There's a hole right there in the bottom of the oil pan. I guess we'll goop some silicone on it. Maybe JB weld it.
You know what's funny though?
Now that we're spinning over, let's see if we can get some fire. What in the world? Get off of there! There it goes. Crunchy. It's our crusty, but not ridiculous. Let's wow, look at all that corrosion. Let's brush this up a little bit and then blow it out and see. And then we'll take and gently clean it up in there with a brass wire brush so we're not getting too crazy and wearing away the protective coating. Cleaned up. Looks like so. We'll ohm it out and see if it's making a connection. Making it, breaking it, making it, breaking it. Beautiful. Also like to go ahead and get a little bit of lube, some grease here on that lobe to help with wear on your points. This is just some waterproof corrosion block grease. And then we make sure our points are gapped out to roughly 25 thousandths. Now the key switch for some reason is not cranking the car over. We'll figure that out, but we can at least see if we are getting power to the coil with it. Do you mind turning the key on for me, please? Nah, we ain't getting nothing into the ballast resistor or anything. So see, what's weird with this is Ford uses a resistor wire. It's a pink wire that's up under your dash. And so you never really have an external resistor here. This is more like something you'd see probably on like a Chrysler product. And what's weird is it's wired up backwards. I wonder if they were having some running issues, tried messing with that. Maybe got something wrong there, not too sure. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and switch those and we'll just jump straight to that coil and then let's see if we have anything on it. Yeah, do you see that? That's pretty. I think we just need to... Oh. Probably just need to do a new cap. Oh my. Hit it again. Oh yeah. And this right here is why you save absolutely everything. So we have this really nice set of wires, really nice cap. A little dirty, but fits the motor okay. Beautiful. Now obviously that is a coil that you're supposed to use with an external resistor. When you jump them out for a little bit at a time, it is fine. We're gonna have to figure out all that wiring and stuff eventually, because got a key, we might as well make that ignition switch work. But before we go ahead and put our auto light 46s in, we need to go ahead and pull the gap down. Oh, that one's actually perfect, to about 35 thousandths. Since this carburetor's so pretty, let's go ahead and throw some fuel to it. I'm sure it'll be a-okay. Seriously, being a Holly with a side bowl, it's probably just gonna puke its guts out, but it's always worth a shot, right? As long as this thing sat, the fuel that was in it should have evaporated out, probably left a light film of varnish. That's actually really clean, surprisingly. It's a nice thing sometimes with these cars that have been sitting for so long, you know, since the 80s like this, you know, potentially, depending on the time, had better quality fuel. So a lot of times what we end up with is a fairly clean carburetor. Tanks are always bad, but there's for the most part, rot out. They seem to be rotten. I'm sure this one's gone. Actually, I can catch a whiff of, and that's another reason we just disconnect our fuel system, run something else. You know, you're slap full of varnish if it's not just completely rusted out. Now that I'm talking about it, where is the fuel fill on this one? Should be on the side of the fender. Woo! Nope, no point in even trying that one. Of course, we got our boat gas tank, run to our electric fuel pump, run to 6 miles of extra hose, and to the carburetor. See if this thing will do anything. Did it take gas?
I don't know, probably hadn't got through the hose yet.
So we just put gas in a carburetor that the throttle plate's frozen on. Wow, so I'm surprised the carburetor took gas, but we have no way to do anything with the gas that's in it. Oh yeah, as soon as I lean down, it's leaking all over here. You telling me the bowl's warped on this? Ain't no way.
I think it's the bowl, I think it's the body.
See if we can make anything happen. Look at that, clean as a pin. Not really, actually surprisingly, not terrible, not great either though. So the problem with this one is that body is warped. Look at it, look at it. Wow, that thing's warped really hard. Oh, sheesh. But we've got 2 more right here. So I guess we'll make something work. Let's open this one up and see what it looks like. This is one issue with these little Hollies and why I really like to just kind of stick around with the original Autolite 1100s, because they're fantastic carburetors. These are good when they're right, but obviously over tighten them and stuff like that, they warp up really bad. Look at that. So there's a reason all these were off, I guess. Okay. I hate to do it because I don't like to give up on stuff. This one we had running on that little 60. So let's go and stick this one on, see if it'll do anything. Filling up. Not overflowing. Oh yeah.
Oh, where you going?
I think it's time to see if this thing will fire off. Right after my bust my butt. Y'all ready? Now, one thing I do want to keep an eye on is make sure that oil light turns off on the dash, showing us that we have good oil pressure. We'll probably be able to know pretty quickly though. Come on, baby. Go ahead. Oh, I may have flooded it already. Go ahead. Starter sounds beautiful. Woo-hoo. Okay, go ahead.
Doesn't sound bad.
No, it didn't. Yeah! Oh. What? Yes! I had to like hold it wide open throttle. Like it's getting too much, what if that intake's full of stuff or something? That was weird. All right, let's crank it. Hey, oil pressure light on!
It was off. Came back on as soon as it started.
Great. This thing's got good oil pressure. Yeah. We've got to figure out a cooling system though. It smells.
Cooling system. We have a few nuts.
You see that? It's literally packed full of nuts. This thing is a runner though. Oh my goodness. 38 years out in the woods of Georgia, and that little 170 has fired back to life. I mean, literally rotted a hole in the bottom of the oil pan, lost all its oil sitting there. And that motor actually sounds really good. It's probably one of the better sounding ones we've had. That is awesome. It's like dirt. Okay, I'll go ahead and pull it off from here too, I suppose. It's all down in the... I think it's got a thermostat though. Okay, with that being said, I think we need to go ahead and just tear into and redo this whole cooling system, because if we just try to start throwing the hose in here and stuff, I'm afraid we're going to just make more of a mess than anything. Does this thing got a little blow by or what?
That's a good one.
We'll have to definitely get some coolant in this thing, take care of that cooling system, and then we can go ahead and we'll run some stuff through it. I'll show you in the next video. But wow, I cannot believe this. I know this is what we do, but sometimes you're pretty sure that you're gonna really have to, you're pretty sure you're not gonna get them to run. I was really surprised at how smoothly this little motor went. We had some issues with it being stuck there and stuff. It's really crusty, but it actually sounds better than a lot of these we've had. That little 170 actually sounds really good in this car. I really hope you all have enjoyed this episode though. Dragging this car out of the Georgia woods, bringing it back, and getting that little 170 to run for the first time in 38 years. We cannot wait to dial this thing in, get some belts on it, actually get some run time, probably put a little Autolite 1100, a factory carburetor back on this thing, We'll have to figure out some tires there because the wheels that were with this car were just completely rotted out. Most of them ended up getting left out in the woods there. We did keep one. I think we'll paint those maybe. We'll have to put some tires on it, and then we'll see if that little 2-speed does anything. If it doesn't, I think this little wagon is just the coolest thing, and it's probably worth putting a 3-speed manual in, which of course we have, because for some reason we like these little Falcons, and we hope you all too. If you do and you enjoy these rescues and are excited to see what is to come with this little car, be sure to subscribe button, notification bell, and if you have been a part of the channel, thank you all so incredibly much. That is going to wrap it up for this video. Peace out, and catch you all on the flip side.